Hey everybody, Omar here, the Knife Shark Guy, and I am back with another fun-filled video for you. And today we're going to be taking a look at what's in this ostrich case. We have another beautiful, beautiful South African custom inside here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull it out and show it to you. The knife that we are looking at is made by the great and awesome Des Horn. So there you go. Let's go ahead and take a look at this piece because it is an absolute work of art. Now, if you're not into custom knives, this may not be for you. Keep in mind, Des Horn is an art knife maker. So you kind of have to bend your what you're used to. It's opening up your mind and understanding what this is. So this is a knife by Des Horn. It is an art knife. This is basically a small front flipper with a ball release. And I'll explain how that works. The knife has lightning strike carbon fiber with little copper wires running throughout the carbon fiber. Really, really very pretty and very, very stunning. This is, I believe, V-grade titanium bolster that he actually sort of molded into this sort of shape. That's what he calls a Mercury effect. And this is actually the Mercury Ball right here. The blade is all Damascus, and you can see that his name is right there, Des Horn, right on the knife. If you look at the back of it, I mean, this is probably one of the most beautiful knives that I've ever owned. This is what's called a full dress piece, meaning every part of the knife has some kind of artwork on it. Again, his famous twist around the knife, you can on the liner of the knife, you can see right there, along with the Damascus backspacer. I mean, it is just absolutely incredible. Just wanted to show this to you. Let me show you how this actually works. So one of the challenging things about this knife is opening it. There is no pocket clip. I gave that talk on my last video with the Mvubu that I just uploaded minutes ago. Des Horn does not believe in pocket clips. You know, like I said, he's from that traditional time when a lot of the knife makers were mostly making slip joints. So he was basically an innovator in the world of knife making in a sense that he, you know, he made regular knives as we know them, but he kept the one tradition of no pocket clip, but he does usually include a case with the knife. The Damascus on this is just absolutely stunning on that knife, on this knife. Really very beautiful. I do love that blue V-grade titanium Mercury effect bolster is what they call it. It's absolutely incredible. Now keep in mind this knife is made completely by hand from start to finish by Des Horn. And it's a one-of-a-kind handmade piece, which means you will never, ever see another one like it ever again. Probably. I always say probably only because I don't understand how a lot of the knife makers can guarantee a one-of-a-kind or that they will never, ever repeat the same handle configuration again. So basically, you may see this handle configuration once again, but maybe the Mercury effect isn't blue, maybe it's purple, maybe it's tan, maybe it's another color, maybe it's got white Westinghouse micarta on the scales instead of the carbon fiber like I have on this knife. So that's basically what that means. Handle configuration will be different every time. It's just a beautiful knife. Absolutely beautiful. So let's go ahead and do the specs on this knife, which I have with me. So the blade length of this knife is 2.80 inches. The cutting length of the knife, which is from here to the, I guess, to about right about there, is 2.75 inches. The total length of the knife, 6.50. The blade height at the heel is 0.65. The blade thickness near the bolster is 0.09. And as you get midpoint, it's still 0.09 until you get to the tip, where it goes down to about 0.4. The blade is stainless steel Damascus, and it is forged by Damasteel, hardened, sub-zero, and quenched, and double tempered by Des for excellent edge retention. So he does all the work, even on the blade. He does all the work himself on this piece. So let's go ahead and explain how this knife works. So like I said, this is what they call a ball release. If you're not familiar with the ball release, it's basically an invention by Des Horn. So the way it works is this ball right here is actually a button, and it's not used to open the knife. It's actually used to close the knife. So basically you flip the knife open, and then to close the knife, you press the ball, and then the knife closes. So this is not your traditional, I guess I use the word traditional in the sense of the way we look at knives, where they're front flippers, standard flippers, that kind of thing. So you're not going to be able to have the knife. The knife doesn't drop shut. Oop, nobody died. The knife doesn't drop shut or, fall shut or anything like that. Basically, this is how you open it. And you can open this. It does take some practice because there is no pocket clip. So you kind of have to angle your hand a certain way. And then you get used to it. And then you can just sort of flick it open with your thumb. If you're not careful, you can seriously injure yourself. But there you go. So after a while, you get used to it. If you're a knife person, you know how it is. You just get used to flicking knives. My most comfortable way is like this way with my index finger. That's the way I kind of like. So again, I press the ball, and then I close the knife. It's a really cool mechanism, and it's mostly a mechanism because he's trying to show that knives are not only art aesthetically, but mechanically. So what you think of the concept of a knife can be changed by the knife maker himself. So just want to change the lighting here a little bit so you guys can get a better look. Of this guy. So there you have it. Like I said, I really, God, still can't even, there you go. Still can't really open it as comfortably, but I'm pretty sure in a couple of weeks I'll have that down flat. I mean, the knife is just absolutely stunning in every way. Like I said, this is an art knife, guys. So, don't worry about, well, it's not smooth. This is not one of those knives. This is an art knife. And actually, to be honest with you, my very first art knife, and I'm very happy with it. Because to be honest with you, the knife that I showed you in the other video, which was the Imvubu, that knife is actually kind of like his business card, because he doesn't even have that knife up on his website. If you go to deshornknives.com, you will not see the Imvubu model. Basically, he still makes the model, but it's kind of like by request. You kind of have to ask for it. And I think that's because he doesn't really, I'm not going to say he doesn't enjoy making the Imvubu, but if he does, more than likely, he's going to make one that's a one of a kind because he wants to challenge himself. The man's a knife maker, so he has to challenge himself. So he's going to make something special, maybe a different scale like he did with mine, or maybe he'll put ball bearings in it, which is something that he normally doesn't do, but he did on my very first one, which I was totally blown away by. So this type of knife, my point is that this type of knife is really the introduction to Des Horn's actual work, making art knives. And if you take a look at his website, you will see he makes some really incredible art knives. Basically, he's making knives his way and using the concept of a folding knife as a canvas, if you will. So that's basically what he does. More so than any of the other South African knife makers that you may be familiar with. Guys like Erucus Blumeris, guys like Andre Thorburn, his good buddy Andre Thorburn. Those guys are more traditional in their knife making. Des Horn is more of an art knife maker. And I just wanted you to see the kind of work that this guy does. You know, that knives like the Mbubu, which was the video that you saw earlier, that's not really his forte. He makes those knives. I would assume he makes those knives because that's like the most requested. But he's kind of hoping to open up a market for his kind of knife making. And if you go to his website, you'll see what I'm talking about. He basically really wants to make more knives like this. And I don't blame him because they're really very beautiful. But if you're just a regular knife person, you actually have to go through all of that to get to understand what this is that I have in my hand. If you are someone that's into knives that fall shut and, you know, that they're ball bearings and, you know, the steel is incredible, those are all fantastic qualities in a knife. But when you're talking about an art knife, you kind of have to rethink or open up your mind. How about that? Open up your mind to the concept of what a knife is. But I mean, if you notice, the knife is not so far off that you wouldn't want it. Table price for this knife is very, very expensive. It's I picked up this one at the Blade Gallery for $1,100. And I'm telling you, as expensive as it is, yeah, I think it's worth it. I really do. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and do some size comparisons with this guy so you guys can see the actual size of the knife. Let's go ahead and put it up with the all familiar zero tolerance. And how about the Spyderco Yojimbo 2? So as you can see, both these knives, the ZT and the Spyderco, they tower over this little guy. It's a real small knife. It's not big. So let's go ahead and put it up against one more, which is the Kershaw bare knuckle knife in black wash and carbon fiber. Haven't carried this one in a while, really should. And finally, to check out, you know, a knife that might be close in size, just so you guys can understand the size of it. The ZT-0900, which is a big knife. A big knife, like wide waist. So, I mean, as far as length goes, yeah, I think it's about the same length as the ZT-0900. So, that's it for specs. So, it's, I mean, obviously this knife is much bigger, you know, this way, but, you know. And this knife is much thinner. So there you have it. I wanted you guys to take a look at this knife and see what's out there in the world of art knives. Des Horn is one of the fathers of knife making as we know it, and he pretty much set the stage for all the other South African knife makers that came after him or that came right around the same time as him in succession. I believe Andre Thorburn and Erucus Blumeris may be a little bit behind him, but not by much. But again, you know, Des Horn is a retired dentist, 16 years now, and he now does this full time. So there you have it. The Des Horn Ball release. There's no names with these knives. Basically, they just call it the Des Horn Ball release with Damascus blade, V-grade titanium bolsters, and carbon fiber handles with the woven copper running throughout the carbon fiber scales, and a Damascus backspacer. Try saying that to somebody. What do you got in your pocket? Oh, I have a V-grade titanium Damascus Des Horn. The guy's sitting there staring at you going, fuck, I just got like a ZT-0900, man. So there's no names on these knives. So there you have it, the Des Horn Ball release. How about we just call it the Des Horn Ball release? Really, really stunning knife. I'm getting used to opening it now. When I actually first flipped it, I couldn't do it. It almost practically fell out of my hand, but it does take some getting used to. So, all right, so there you have it. The Des Horn Ball Release Custom. I forgot to show you the certificate of authenticity on this one. All the knives, mostly all the knives out there come with one of these, which is a certificate of authenticity, which is actually a certificate that is signed by the maker of the knife. He is the one that stands behind what you're seeing here. And if you look at this sheet, I mean, the guy's got tons of awards, over here on the side of the paper of the certificate. His address is right there. From Hermanus, South Africa. Signature right there. The indent ball, the release and indent ball are silicone nitrate. So I forgot to mention that. So there you have it, the Des Horn Ball release. Happy to show this one off. Let's give another quick close-up of this guy in all of its blue beauty. And again, I hope you guys can appreciate this great work of art. If you guys are not into custom knives, don't worry. You're going to get there, trust me. Because there will come a time when you will be, well, I've had my fill of Spydercos and ZTs. Where do I go next? Right here. You're going to go right here. So this is Omar, the Knife Shark guy, signing off, showing you my latest custom piece that I am proud to own. Made by Des Horn, a wonderful, wonderful knife maker, and also one of the sweetest guys I have ever communicated with via email. I want to be careful to say that I've met him because I've never met the man, but I have emailed him back and forth, and I have spoken to him on Instagram quite a few times. Maybe someday I'll get a chance to meet this guy because I own 4 of his knives, and I would love to shake his hand. The Des Horn Ball Release Knife. This is Omar, the Knife Shark guy, signing off. Hoping you'll find a custom like this in your collection someday. Thank you so much for watching. And you guys have a wonderful evening.